Welcome back, boys and girls. I'm so glad you're here to doodle with Mr. Esquivel today. Now, anybody could make a simple little doodle like this guy right here, but today you are going to learn how to animate a doodle like this and make it come to life. All you need is a half sheet of paper and a pencil. Go grab your supplies and let's get busy. So once again, to make this simple animation, all you need is a half sheet of paper. So I cut myself a few half sheets of paper here so that I can make multiple cartoons. I'm going to put those aside and we'll start with this one. Now, in order for this to work, both of our cartoon pages need to be exactly the same with just some minor things changed. So to do that, what we're going to do is take this paper and fold it in half. Take the top, bring it all the way down to the bottom, line up the corners, and crease the edges. So there we go. Now, in order to make sure that both of our drawings are going to be exactly the same, we need to draw one drawing and then trace the next drawing. And this is something that animators used to do all the time by hand. Nowadays, with computers, it's pretty easy to duplicate a drawing over and over again, but in the old days, you would have to do each drawing one by one. So in order to make sure that we can copy our main drawing or our first drawing, we're going to draw on the bottom page. So just take the top flap and open it up. And right in the center of this page is where we need to do our first drawing. So to make mine, what I'm going to do is just make a guy waving. So I'm going to put his head here. We need 2 ears, a couple of eyes, a nose, and a smile. When we're cartooning, we want to keep it as simple as possible. Because we have to duplicate the drawing, we don't want to make it too complicated. We want to make it pretty simple. And if you look back at very old cartoons, that's what old cartoonists used to do, since they had to do all of the drawings by hand. They used to make things really simple so that you could duplicate it over and over again. So there's my head, my collar. Now I'm going to put my character's body. Just simple shapes. There's an oval shape. His face is an oval shape. Now I'll put some legs. I keep my legs really simple. Come straight down. A little V shape right here. And then there's one foot, another foot, and then just right up the center, there are his 2 legs. Now for arms, I want to make this guy waving. So I'm going to take this, come down, and then just put a little round shape at the bottom to represent his hand. And now I can make the inside of the arm. So there's one hand on his hip. Now for his waving arm, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to put his hand going straight up. And so I just make that same round shape there, but this time I'm going to put fingers on it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you notice old cartoons and even some modern cartoons, they always have just 4 fingers. Animators do that to make it really easy to duplicate all the time. Instead of having to draw 5 fingers, they just do 4 and sometimes 3 for cartoon characters. So there's his hand. I also will give him a little bit of hair. So there's his part goes there. Just like that. Now, always give yourself a horizon line. Now my character isn't just floating in space, he's actually standing somewhere. Here's the ground he's standing on, there's the horizon line, and there's the clouds, or the sky. But speaking of clouds, so that we know it's the sky, let's just put a couple of clouds up there. Now you could add more detail to your background. You can make them standing at a park. You can put a swing set in the back, some trees, maybe a house, whatever you want. You can even make it some space scene, and this guy's an astronaut standing on the moon, whatever you want. Remember, in art, weird is good. Now, we're done with this. Our next step is to trace all of this and duplicate everything except for his hand that's waving. Then with this hand that's waving, we're going to put it in a different position. That way, when we flip our book back and forth, it's going to look like his hand is moving. Animators used to use this thing called a light box. It was kind of a glass box with a light underneath it. That way you could put it on there and you could see what was happening. But I tell you what, you already have a light box in your house. I'm going to show you where it is. I'll be right back. There's your light box. Any window in your house can act as your light box as long as there is light on the other side of it. All I did was tape mine up here, but you could absolutely just hold it and still get the same effect. So now I just have to go over with my pencil all of the lines of my drawing. You want to make them exact, as accurate as possible. Tracing your drawing line by line. Now, whatever part you want to be moving, you're not going to trace. So I want his hand to be waving back and forth. So now I'm going to, instead of having, as you see how his arm is straight up, now I'm going to have his arm extend out. Same thing. Okay. The background has to be the same. I think this is where a lot of people run into problems, is that they change the background and then it doesn't seem believable anymore. That is everything. So I'll meet you back at the desk and we'll finish up our animation. Okay, so we're back. I'm noticing, and you can just check it by flipping back and forth. I'm noticing a few different things that I didn't do correctly. One of them is his hair. I didn't do all of the lines in his hair. And so if I left it this way, when I was flipping it, it would look like his hair went from black to blonde. And so what I need to do is I need to add the same color to the hair. All right, so even just by doing this quickly, you start to see his hand moving up and down. But let me show you an easy way to do this. Take your pencil, line it up at the bottom, and then tightly roll up the top flap on your pencil. Just like that. Now, it wants to keep coming up here, so you just put your thumb here at the top to hold it down, and here we go. It's cartoon magic. So this is how animations were done back in the day. It's an optical illusion. Your brain thinks that his hand is really moving back and forth, but really what it's doing is it's switching back and forth between two separate pictures. Now you can color this, but the trick is to make sure you're coloring everything the exact same on both sheets. So if you give him blue jeans on the bottom, he needs to have blue jeans on the top. And then it'll really be believable for your eyes. Let's try an even easier one. Watch how quickly I do this one. On the bottom, a small heart. On top of that, a bigger heart. Let's roll it up. Let's make this heart beat. This makes an awesome Valentine during Valentine's. So let's really bring this one to life and get some color on it. So I've chosen a few colors here. I might go into my bucket here in a minute and get some more, but here's how I color these. I start on the bottom layer, and I'm gonna color his blue jeans blue. Now, I'm not gonna wait. While I still have this in my hand, I'm coming up top and adding color to the blue jeans on the second page, okay? I'll make his sweater yellow. I'm using a pretty soft pencil. I used a pretty soft pencil, a drawing pencil, to draw him, so you can see that it's sort of smudging a little bit. It's all right. These are just doodles. Don't take it too seriously. All right, I'm gonna just grab any color to do his shoes. Purple shoes, okay. Just wanted something dark for his shoes. While I still have it in my hand, I do both pairs of shoes at the same time. You know what? Weird is good. Let's give him some purple hair. I like using unorthodox colors to color things. It makes things more interesting. All right. Now, I'm gonna give the sky this sort of aqua color. Not pressing very hard. I just want the impression of some blue color in the sky. Just roughly going around the clouds. If a little bit gets in there, that's all right. We're artists, we don't need to stay in the lines all the time. We want things to be interesting. Oh, I keep coming off of my paper. There's that. All right. A little green color for the grass. I'm moving very quickly. You guys can take your time. But I want to get through this video so you can run off and make your own. Let's find a skin tone. Close enough. This will be me. Just very gently going over his skin. Tell you what, I am gonna make this guy me. Here's how I'm gonna do it. I wear glasses. This is Mr. Esquivel telling you hello. So, if you look at old videos of animators, you'll see them doing this a lot, flipping back and forth to make sure that what they draw on top is exactly like what they drew on the bottom. Close enough. All right. Oh, while I'm at it, you know what purple is good for? Shadows. So watch this. I'm going to pretend like the sunlight is coming from this way. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow on the ground to make it look like he's actually standing there. Why not? Here we go. And with the power of cartoon magic, our doodle is going to come to life. Here we go. So that's me waving goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much for doodling with me today. And now you have the power to take any doodle that you make and make it come to life. I'll see you next time, guys. Stay safe. Bye.